Okay, guys, so we're back. We're back, and a lot is unfolding because a lot is going on in the US of A, a lot is going on in Jamaica, a lot is going on in the Philippines. Like every country has something going on at this point, and for the most part, it's not good. But Donald Trump has been officially been thrown in the hot seat with Mr. Epstein. No, guys, I believe I kind of have a sense of who Donald Trump is. And as such, let me tell you guys, all ish is about to break loose. He's gonna unveil every ounce of classified details that he can. And he's gonna do it on everyone that he can, especially the names that he has been calling a lot. And it's Joe Biden and Barack Obama. Hillary Clinton may get thrown in the mix as well. Because guess what, right? Let's go through my patois slipping out. Guys, learn some patois. I can't learn some patois. I need to learn some patois. Come on. If I can fake the American language in several different ways, ain't no reason you guys should not know anything in patois. Like, come on. It's about time, right? Anywho, I want to give you the report from a report so as to avoid any ounce of public mischief. If there's any public mischief, it's coming from CNBC, and I'm choosing a source that is normally seen as reputable when it comes to media reports, okay? So, they're saying Democrats return to pressing Donald Trump on his ties to Jeffrey Epstein, highlighting a selection of emails in which the late financier and convicted ex-trafficker suggested the president knew of his activities. No, guys, it doesn't stop there. A congressional committee on Wednesday released some 20,000 pages of documents, pivoting attention away from the ongoing government shutdown and forcing the White House to respond to an issue that has frustrated the president and drawn scrutiny from parts of his base. Listen now. The trove of documents includes emails in which Epstein, who died in 2019 while facing ex-trafficking charges, appeared to allege that Trump spent hours in a house with one of Epstein's victims. The new information came the same day that a new House lawmaker was officially sworn into office. This is Grijalva, Adelita Grijalva, an Arizona Democrat immediately signed a petition forcing a vote on legislation to compel the Justice Department to release files on Epstein. So, let's pause a bit, right? Let's pause a bit. So now, there's documents from Jeffrey Epstein's saga, let's say saga, that is suggesting and that is placing Donald Trump, allegedly, because I still have to say allegedly, at some of these, what is being alleged as, crime scene. And crime doesn't only mean deletion, right? It means anything that's against the law. No. Trump is not going to take this sitting. He's not going to take it standing. And he's not going to take this running. And if you guys notice, even without a slight trigger, remember that man has been trying to get rid of Obamacare. Everything that Obama has done to help the people, he wants to crumble it because Obama offends him. Several things about Obama offends him, right? He hates that Obama is more loved and respected than him. He hates that Obama, has his family together and has a clean image to us, right? So we know one thing. one thing we all know. If we're willing to be honest, no leader has a 100% clean image, especially we can see in the United States if we have been following up, especially with Candace Owens, and stuff, right? They do things. If we've been following up with a lot of journalists. So what I expect Donald Trump to do in this case, he's gonna retaliate. And he's going to retaliate like a madman. He's going to expose the secrets of every president that he can before him. He's going to expose a lot of America's secrets, and people could go to jail. People could potentially go to jail, but not Obama. I don't see Obama going to jail in Trump's expose, because I see Obama as intelligent, very calculated, and he's just too savvy. I think Obama is too savvy. I think he's very smart, extremely calculated, very savvy. I think he may have some unpleasantries, some unpleasantries about him, but not crime. I think Joe Biden may have some unpleasantries about him, but not crime in that sense. Maybe, right? But I think, who he might be able to take down? Hillary. He might be able to take down Hillary. And if you don't know, Hillary was once a prosecutor, and she represented a Pedialyte in a case against a minor some years ago, allegedly, because I haven't looked up the case for myself, but I followed a few journalists who spoke about it. And you remember there was an email situation regarding Hillary. Don't be surprised if Hillary Clinton goes to jail because of Trump. Look out for Trump to go off like boom, 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 boom. Like he's gonna. All right. Do you guys remember how Jaguar Wright would tell us that whenever Jay-Z is in trouble, he would plant bombs here and there, and he would just have them going off while he makes his escape? I think that's what Trump is going to do. But the difference here is that Trump cannot escape from this, and he realizes that he can't escape this Jeffrey Epstein link connection. The photo is there, all of that, just standing with him. Sometimes, do you know how they say guilty by association? So just him being in many photographs with Jeffrey Epstein already makes him guilty to a lot of people. So now that this is coming out, people are going to be like, I knew it. So, okay. I think this might be the one to I think this might be the nail in the coffin, right? No, what the Arizona Democrat, which is, Adelita Grijalva, what she's saying is that justice cannot wait another day. Grijalva, who provided the decisive 2018 signature on the petition. So it's a petition. It has 218 signatures. House Speaker Mike Johnson told reporters he will bring the legislation to a vote next week. The Democrats are trying to bring up the Jeffrey Epstein hoax again because they'll do anything at all to deflect on how badly they've done on the shutdown and so many other subjects. Trump posted on social media, only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into that trap. Trump has repeatedly said he cut ties with Epstein nearly 2 decades ago and was not aware of the late financier's activities. Well, he keeps saying that, and he has said it quite a few times. And there are people in his circle who said he did cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein, but what they're saying now is that things may had happened before he had cut ties. So guys, as such, don't be surprised if Trump goes after his 3 greatest enemies in history to say, I have shame on me, but so do you all have shame on you. Hillary, Joe Biden, Barack Obama. But Obama is an intelligent, savvy man. Joe Biden, I don't think he'll be able to get Joe Biden. Because people know that presidents, they do stuff and they don't have a clean slate. They might have done a little thing here and there, but I believe that the one that he might be able to nail and really expose is Hillary. And I think he's just going to expose the country's secret, like, y'all are acting as though you're better than me, and I'm about to show the world that y'all are not better than me. As a matter of fact, y'all are worst. Here you are. This is what you did. This is your crime. So while you're talking about my crime and exposing my crime, what about your crime? Talk about your crime. So I think Trump might just be a curse to America. And if you look at what is happening, right, guys? If you look at it this way, you can really, are you good at math? Are you good at equations? If you look at this situation as an equation, and you look at Trump, Trump minus Hillary Clinton minus Barack Obama and Joe Biden, right? So it is him against these 3. So he's gonna break them down one by one, right? But he's gonna get some amount of satisfaction in taking down Hillary, because there's a lot of controversy surrounding her, and it's so heavy that there has to be at least 5% truth to Hillary. Joe Biden and Barack Obama, anything that they've done is within the line of presidential secrecy that should not be revealed. And as such, even if it's revealed, it's not anything that anyone can take any legal actions against them for, right? Because presidents, they do things, they make decisions that are kept under secrecy, and a few other people knows about it and they sign off and agree that it's secrecy. But he'll be able to catch Hillary, right? So he's not going to be satisfied because he hates Obama. He hates that Obama is a black man with such etiquette. Funny. People laugh at Obama's joke. Obama is grammatically efficient. Let's put it at that. Grammatically efficient, and he's just loved by people. Even people who say, hey, I wouldn't vote for that guy, but I would definitely love to have a drink with him. So when he realizes that he's not getting to Obama, that's going to really piss him off. And he's going to dig deeper into releasing every single details. He may get America put on a terrorist list, like all the other countries he despises, like all those Muslim countries he despises. He might be the one to get America put on that list. But what I was saying about the migrants, right? How did you know, and how could you tell that Trump was in for doom? Everything in this world is energy. Me, you, everything. The wind from the fan, the wind from the outside, everything. It's all energy. Sorry, guys. Even that energy, right? So, hear me out. America was built on migrant energy. from day one. America does not, oh, sorry. What's happening? And me, I may need to get some nasal spray. I need to. 1 minute. So, okay, we're recording again. Sorry about that, guys. I have allergies. We had a power outage for maybe an hour. It's the first time because even during the storm, we had power. But the power company, they're doing some repairs. So they shut down a few of us. Not everyone in the neighborhood got shut down. A few of us, and it was we were targeted when I looked at my building and a few, there were specific buildings that were shut down. So they're switching the grids and having specific people on one set of grid. That's what they're doing. But anywho, I'm just telling you that because I was outside for a bit to get a fresh air. And I felt a bit drowsy and I said, let me come inside. And then when I came back inside, it was getting a bit warm and I had to reopen all the windows and everything. So that's why. Okay. Now, as I was saying, right? America was built on the backs of migrants. Trump's father is a migrant. Trump is a descendant of a migrant. His wife is a migrant. When you disrupt that energy, you see, he's disrupting like the energy that he is, a migrant. He's disrupting that energy. He's disrupting that energy for himself, and he's disrupting that energy for a lot of people and on a whole, his country. So this is a migrant, and America was built on the migrant energy. Once you start shifting the energy, everything else is going to fall out of place. Nothing else will have balance. It's going to take years for America to be rebuilt without these migrants. He thinks he has a brilliant idea if he keeps all of his wealthy friends rich and give every billionaire and everyone who involves in money laundering a pardon and they get to keep the money. That is good money, quick money. But we all know that millionaires and billionaires rarely invest in their country because sometimes a few do shady business deals. So they take their money and they take it to offshores, Dubai, and those places. So the money is still leaving the country. The money that keeps the country going is the migrants. A significant part of it is coming from the migrant, right? So when you shift the migrant energy is leaving the country. Expect a total collapse of the system. Airline industry, the food, you may see food shortages because a lot of Americans don't want those jobs. A lot of you guys, you genuinely don't want those jobs because those jobs don't work for you and your lifestyle. While the migrants will work 2-3 jobs. Some Americans do work 2-3 jobs too, but the migrants mainly, right? So with the migrants being out, and what it's costing them to get the migrants out of the country, it's causing a complete disruption of the system. He's disrupting the energy that has built the country, and as such, the country is becoming more and more unstable. Right? So he's going to try to go into other countries. That's why he wants to go to Nigeria. But the moment that he has plans to go to Nigeria, Putin is not going to allow him to exploit any third world country or any black people. Because Putin respects the black people. And every time he does something horrible to the black community, Putin has a reveal of black history showing black excellence, black royalty, the roots, the heritage, and the strength of the black people. So, with him now saying that he's going to go to Nigeria, Putin is not going to allow it. Just as how Putin did not allow him to go down into Venezuela and take disadvantage of those people, he's not going to allow Trump to go down into Nigeria. Putin loves, like, think of him as a principal. He loves rules. And he's a strict principal, and rules are rules, and you should respect them and stop bullying people. So Putin is that one who will strike the balance, because he's tired of America doing this to countries over and over and over. And America is like a little bully that goes around and starts the little wars and then, act as though they never did anything. Putin is tired of the manipulation coming from American leaders. And as such, he's not going to allow Trump to go down to Nigeria, because he knows Nigeria has precious resources. And that is why Trump wants to get down there. So he may have already set up down there waiting on Trump, just as though he was set up in Venezuela, because he knew, he can read Trump like a book. Do you see how he got, for us, the people in the Caribbean, we knew Russia was in Venezuela, because months ago we were telling you guys that Russia is in the Caribbean. They were in the Caribbean. So now, if he has plans to go to Nigeria, he better change his mind. I don't know what you guys are gonna do with this man, but he's a threat to humanity. He's a literal threat to humanity, and he's a threat to the vulnerable. He's a threat to all the Caribbean islands. All of them. And we're not gonna fight anyone's war, because guess what? Do you know how you guys say the Chinese owns Jamaica? Well, they don't, but they are a part of us. Out of many, one people. Chinese are here. We have the Chinese community. We have the Japanese community. We have literally every community here. We have Muslims here. We have Jews here. And everyone just lives peaceful and get along. No religious prosecution, shaming anyone or anything, So my point is, we're not going to get into Trump's war. The only Caribbean nation that has done it is little Trinidad. I'm so disappointed in you guys. Even Trinidadians are saying they're disappointed in their leader. Trinidad. And Trinidad has broken away from CARICOM. They left CARICOM because they know that the Caribbean doesn't put up with that. We are a peaceful nation. So Trinidad ensured they left CARICOM before they got kicked out, because we don't believe you should be invading other people's country. Because if Venezuela has a drug problem, and if Venezuela are, trafficking drugs through the shores, what you're supposed to do is to send out your Coast Guard to protect your borders, right? To ensure that, because anything outside of our borders on sea, that's outside of our jurisdiction, and we do not operate outside of our jurisdiction. We don't. So our Coast Guards, they're there. We used to have a difficult time with the Colombians. So I was frightened when I hear about Venezuelan trafficking drugs through the Caribbean Sea. I was like, Venezuela? America has a drug problem, guys. But remember when I told you all that Trump was going about it the wrong way? Because you can't have a drug problem in your backyard, but you're going to someone else's yard to say you're going to stop them from sending drugs to your country. Because if Venezuela is sending drugs to your country, I find it impossible for Venezuela to be the only country that is sending drugs into your country. Anyone with a functioning brain knows that that doesn't make any sense. Who else? But you're not picking on them because you cannot play with the Mexican or the Colombians. Because if you plays with the Mexicans, they are like serious. You guys remember what they did to that group of missing students the last time? They're deadly. The Colombians are far more deadly. So when he said that half the shit that he did to Venezuela, he could never do it with Colombia, nor the Mexicans. And that is why Putin is there to protect Venezuela and help them protect themselves and their people. Because anywhere Trump, like any country that the United States invade, they leave them worst. Trump is a threat to humanity. He is. And you guys need to look at it for what it is. He's just for the rich, the wealthy. Oh, I just pardoned a billionaire guy. Do you know him? No, I don't know the guy, but my son is a huge fan of the guy. He's a billionaire, I heard. And they're poor men behind bars with similar crimes. Why not pardon everyone with similar crimes? He's not gonna. Because he serves the rich and famous. And I told you guys this. I said to you guys, look at the Kygeners. They're learning Spanish. They're planning on leaving the US because they know it's coming. So first we saw them building the bunkers. Now they have to abandon the bunkers plan because they're realizing that shit can't save them. What do? Leave the energy. The energy has been disrupted. It has been disturbed. Leave the energy until it is settled. They come back. A lot of celebrities are going to start leaving America. Do you see Rihanna and her kids leaving, learning Spanish? Because Rihanna is giving herself options. Barbados will always be her home. The Caribbean will always be her home. But she needs a larger crowd. She needs a country that has a bigger population where she can truly hide and have a private life. If she goes back, if she goes back to Barbados, they're going to know where she lives and Rihanna. And, she's a mom now. She wants some stability. So she needs a bigger crowd to hide in. So she needs a bigger country. And then she'll still go to Barbados, spend a few months there. And then she go back and she hides out in Paris or wherever. But the celebrities are going to leave. Guys, buy your houses if you're black in a black man's world. If you're black, buy your houses in a black man's world. And if you don't know how to do it, you first look for an apartment and you rent an apartment, you move there, you get to know the people, don't be too friendly, keep your eyes open until you know who you can trust and who you can't. And even when you have a sense of who you can trust, just give them a little bit of trust. A little smidget. Not too much, like that very thin line, so you can barely see through that space. Yes. And look for a family that is stable, that is steady, to be a part of, like be their friend. Someone, husband, wife, kids that have been together for a number of years and, look for someone like that and ensure that they themselves have like another set of people, family oriented, that they are connected to as well. So you can get yourself in a healthy, stable circle. But leave, guys, if you can. For those who can and want to, it is best. Especially if you're black and you don't got money. If you're black and you're wealthy, but if you're black and you're not all that wealthy, find yourself in a black man's land. That's my best advice to you. Or even Russia, you'll be safe. there are Black communities in Russia living in peace.